Hello and welcome to the 5th season, episode 2 of the Roasted and Barreled Review. Today we are reviewing Glenmorangie Scotch in our Summer of Scotch series, paired with, out of Texas, Cafe Ole by HEB Snickernutcookie flavored coffee. And before we get to this, as this is the summer of Scotch, all summer we're going to be talking about Scotch. Today we're going to talk about the regions of Scotch. There's about 5 to 6 regions. I will get to why it's 5 to 6 and not a straight 5 or a straight 6. But the regions are the Highlands, the Lowlands, Speyside, Campbellstown, and Islay. Now, the 6th region is called the Islands, and right now, according to the Scotch Whisky Society, the Islands is actually technically part of the Highlands. Now, with these 5 to 6 regions, the only one that really kind of stands out amongst the Scotch lore is the Islay. They're known for using a lot of peat, smoking a lot of peat. If you don't know what peat is, it's basically like molded, clumped up grass that's formed into bricks and then burned over the Scotch to give it like flavor. Like the smokiness is soaked into the Scotch. It makes it kind of taste like a tennis ball. To be honest with you, like that. Other than that, I think Speyside and Campbellstown, Speyside and Campbellstown were a little bit more expensive because they're the smaller-ish regions. Highlands is pretty much one of the largest regions, with the islands being in there. So on to the review. A little disclaimer, as I'm going to disclaim every time this season, I'm switching things up to, we still have the buy, try, deny measurements, but we're going for a little harsher standard as I'm getting some bottles that I'm letting pass through that I'm not really excited to finish. And if I'm not excited to finish, then I'm not giving you a buy. Like it used to be that unless you were absolutely terrible, you were getting a buy. That's not the case anymore. I really gotta want to have a glass of this whiskey night after night. So, Snickernutcookie and Glenmorangie. Starting, we had the Glenmorangie 10-year here with the whiskey, and with that, it was light. It had a light pear-like flavor. There really wasn't much here, which is surprising because it smelled really good. While it was an easy drinker, it just needed more flavor. I don't know what else to say here. I was expecting more. When I first had tried Scotch years ago, I felt it was all tequila. It had this tequila-like flavor to it, and I thought that was with all Scotch. This one was a little surprising given how light it was. I'm excited for I like the contrast, but I just do not like the bourbon. Deny. Now, the Snickernutcookie flavored coffee by Cafe Ole, basically for HEB's brand coffee. If you don't know what HEB is the Texas brand. It's a huge grocery store chain out of Texas. This is the coffee that got it all started for me, being honest. This is the one that really got me into coffee. I was doing energy drinks. I was living in Texas. I was driving around dancing. And I got into this coffee, and the rest is history. I just fell into all sorts of coffee because of this. So this coffee is like a cinnamon candy bar in coffee form. This coffee is sweet, but it's not like it'll give you diabetes. The cinnamon taste is not overbearing, so it's not like doing a cinnamon challenge. If you remember that, you take a teaspoon of cinnamon and you try and swallow it down. This coffee isn't like that. It is Very flavorful in all the right ways. I cannot say buy this enough. Now, how do these two pair? This is plain and not overloaded by the coffee. It's a good mixture, but still, if I'm gonna put money out there to buy the coffee and the whiskey to mix them together, you really gotta take it to the next level. Well, the goodness of this pair, the whiskey's just not bringing it. It could be doing more, and so for that reason, I'm going to say deny. This was our second installment of the Summer of Scotch series, the first series, and likely to be 2 to 3 more series of Summers of Scotches. And I'm learning new things every day, and I enjoyed it, even though I didn't like this pairing. But I think this is going to be a good installment. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Roasted and Barreled Review.